Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy B. Hey, all right, I'm shopping right now, and I'm just showing you some of the things that we do when we do our one-on-one mentoring. One of the biggest things is just having the right type of stuff in your system, in your temple, and that makes the world of difference. Not just with your thoughts, but when you line up your thoughts, you also line up to attract the right type of information, the right type of knowledge, the right type of wisdom to fuel your body. So I'm going to first say, in our masterminds, in our one-on-one consultations, and in our mastermind retreats, and when we do private one-on-one mentoring, one of the main things that we focus on, everybody knows this, is teaching you how to think. Not what to think, but teaching you how to think. And when you learn how to think, you learn how to develop the mental faculties of your mind. What up, James? Represent. When you learn how to develop the mental faculties of your mind, you learn how to turn on your magnet. Your magnet is always turned on, but you really learn how to control your magnet so that you can radiate the things that you are consciously. You can radiate those things outward, and you'll begin to use your magnet to attract the right type of information, the right type of circumstance, the right type of people to you. And so, what up, Dana? And so when you do that, when you learn how to think and turn on, control of your magnet, to be fully controlled with it, always liking things to scripture, that's when you and your Father become one. And what am I saying when I say that? That means that when what you're looking at on the outside matches how you feel on the inside, you and your Father are one. When you're looking at your world and your world mimics how you consciously want it to be, not how you're looking at your world and you're not seeing what you feel like you should have. You understand? You and your Father are not one. You are a double-minded individual. So coming to our mastermind, coming to our one-on-one consultations, and our retreats and our private mentoring, you learn how to think. You learn how to sync you and your Father up into one being, so that what you're looking at externally matches how you feel on the inside. And so one of the biggest things that I do when I radiate the right type of health consciousness, I feel like every one of us, we all have God's health radiating through our veins. So it is our birthright, it is our eternal birthright to be in optimal health, to be fully radiant, to radiate good energy, I got this light shining behind me and I want to keep talking to you. So it's our birthright to, man, there's lights all around me. I guess I'm a shining star, but it's our birthright to be in optimal health. So when I'm radiating in that state of consciousness to where I know that God's health radiates through my veins, I glow everywhere I go on the inside and out, then the right types of information about health and food are going to also be attracted to me. And that's very important. So yeah, sometimes I had to pay tens of thousands of dollars to learn, how to take care of my body, how to fuel my body, how to eat to live, so that I can shrink my body. It wasn't about shrinking my body, but more so about being healthy, because that's my birthright. If losing weight comes with being healthy, then so be it. But mainly, I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to know what it felt like to be in optimal health. So one of the first things I'm going to tell you is, when you do go to a grocery store, if you're not blessed to have your own garden and grow your own food and you have to visit grocery stores, one of the things that you want to do is stay on the out. What up, Karen Thomas? You want to stay on the outside of your grocery store. So when I say on the outside, mainly it's only a few sections. Anytime you go inside in the grocery store and you shop in the inner part of the grocery store, you're pretty much putting things in your body that are not electric, that are not alive, that are not radiating. The thing about your body is, you got to understand that you have a temple, and that knowing that God lives in that temple. God is electric. God is energy. What is energy? Energy is electricity. So you want to make sure that you eat foods that have electric energy still in them when you put them into your body. Here's the deal. Anything that does not have electricity in it when you put it into your body rejects it, and it doesn't know what to do with it. So it stores it as fat. It stores it as other things, and when it comes out of you, it stinks, because it does not radiate or resonate with what you truly are. So anything that has preservatives in it, also I'll go as far as to say that the way God creates electricity, right? So the true source of who we are creates that electricity in the foods. It's natural. Anytime electricity is created by man, he has to add something to it to create that electricity. He has to combine things of nature together to make that food electric. And the thing that makes foods electric, the things that makes man-made foods electric, is starch. So anything that has starch in it is a man-made food. And here's the thing, I'm not saying that you can't eat man-made food. You can eat anything under God's green earth. If you choose to eat it, it's your body, it's your temple, but just be aware of it. So here's the thing, we all know that any repeated habit, too much of it, can create a chain that you're unaware of when you're doing it. So let's just say if you know that pizza isn't electric, but you take a bite of it, hey, is that going to hurt you? Probably not. You're going to feel a certain way. It's going to have some effects on you immediately, but it's going to be so small you're not going to notice it. It's the repetitiveness of eating those things ongoing, and then you have an unconscious chain that you're shackling your body to. And so that when comes time to, you want to feel a different way and you're ready to break that chain, you got a chain of habit that when you try to get away from it, it snatches you back. You still crave it. And so it's just fully becoming aware of everything that you are, who you are, what you do, how you feel. Here's what you want to be conscious of. When you put food in your body, how does it make you feel afterwards? I know how you feel eating that good tasting food. I've been there. I've had a monster inside of me. I've had an obese monster inside of me. So I know that the feeling of taste can override the feeling of feeling better after you eat it. But what I'm telling you is to reverse it. Go to the end of the act that you are about to take. Hear what I said. Go to the end. Mentally go to the end of the act that you're about to take. Go to it so far to where you catch the feeling of how you're going to feel after you take that action. And you can apply this to any part of your life. Just imagine what one-on-one mentoring does. I get people to 6 or 7 figures like it's nothing in like 5 or 10 minutes, the first 5 or 10 minutes. But 1 hour consultations, $299 for 1 hour. And I try to do maybe like 3 or 4 a week just because I don't really like talking on the phone that much. But inbox me if you are interested in getting a 1 hour consultation, and I'll pretty much change your life and put you on a path within that 1 hour to take you to the next level. And but you can inbox me for details and our team will get with you. But how you feel, guys, is when you radiate how you feel. Well, let's see, James said, always dropping knowledge. Appreciate that, James. I do a 30-day juice fast every year to recharge and refresh the body. Imagine if you put electric foods in your body every single day. Like every single day. And here's the thing that you have to do. So what I was saying is you have to mentally go to the end, feel how you would feel if you take this. So how do you know how you would feel if you ate a pizza? Well, you felt that way before. So you can remember the feeling that you felt when you ate something. And if it made you feel a certain way after you ate it, did you like it? You understand what I'm saying? You identify if you like the feeling. And if you like that feeling, keep doing it. But if you don't like how you felt and you don't want to remember or re-experience what caused that feeling, hear me out, y'all. I'm telling y'all some really amazing stuff. If you don't want to re-experience what caused the feeling that you're gonna feel, okay, I feel like this when I eat pizza. Oh, I don't want to feel like that anymore. So that means the experience that caused that feeling, I'm not going to go down that route. You can see how you rearrange psychologically bad actions. Go to the end of it first. Any decision, this is how you make decision and decide if you want to move your energy into that experience. That's how you move your energy. You decide if you want to feel it. That's how you move your energy. If you feel it, you are now moving energy. You are energy in motion. You are emotion, energy motion. That's what an emotion is. So you have the ability, hear me out, y'all, to move your energy in and out of experiences by going to the end of the experience, feeling how it would feel after you've had that experience, then come back to your now. Understand this, because humans, when you act as a human, you see time. When you act as the God in you, God knows no time. He only knows right now. God doesn't operate in time. Man does. So you have the ability to move in and out of time by mentally going to the end of any experience that you would take to get to a feeling, and having the feeling before you get the experience. Now you can act smarter. You can think smarter. Would you go sleep with that woman? Would you go sleep with that man? Would you do those things that you wouldn't like the feeling of what would happen after you've had that event? Would you keep doing those things? So let's go over some of the things that I will. So this section right here, this is an amazing section. I'm going to give you a quick nugget, and then it's a lot of other things that you guys can do to literally rejuvenate your body. I want to tell you this real quick before I go and show you this. My dad is almost 80 years old. As a human, he's almost 80 years old. And yesterday he went to go get his blood pressure tested. And he said for the first time since he was like 17 years old, his blood pressure is at its lowest it's ever been since he was like a teenager. And my dad, like I said, he works out every day. My dad suffered from an aneurism about 5-6 years ago. And we've literally been able to, seek God's face and ask him for his wisdom. You understand? If you are in pain, wisdom gives you peace from pain. If you are financially hurting, God's wisdom gives you peace from that hurt. If you are in a situation that's causing you pain and agony mentally, God's wisdom will bring you the peace for it. So what I'm saying is, seeing that my parents and friends and family and students, etc., are coming to me expressing their pain, I ask for God's wisdom and I step into a solution-minded state of mind. And so God gave me access to wisdom when I asked for his wisdom over my situations. And I had the financial income to be able to afford that wisdom at the time that I asked for it. So he made it available to me with the means that what I had available. And it would, on normal circumstances, it would have been costly, but I thank God that in that now I had what I had to get access to that wisdom. And I was able to come back to my family and give my dad some of these things. I'm not going to go over it here. And we've literally restored his health. He's a young man again. I mean, I can literally say, like my dad actually said, man, Brian, I feel like I want to go jogging, but I remember how I used to feel as he was losing his health, to doing too much with his body. But now his body has so much energy inside of himself to where he has to do it. And now his bones are matching up. Now, he can do things that he wasn't able to do before. And, he just feels a certain way. So I know what I originally did. I asked God to step into my heart, to enter into my heart and give me access to his wisdom. And then once he did that, he told me wisdom about how to think. And so I lined up my thoughts, and with my thoughts lining up, I was able to then attract the things that my thoughts wanted to bring to me. I was able to draw to myself, meaning I was able to literally be still where I stood and radiate everything to me. Be still and know that I am God. When you stand where you are and you know how to draw any and everything to you, you realize that you are the center of the atom. You are the nucleus. The sun that you see ain't the nucleus. You are the nucleus. Everything in this universe radiates around you. God gave you your own kingdom. God gave you your own universe, your own world. And how do you know that? You get to see life through a way that I can't see it. I can't see through your lenses. That makes it your world. And in your world, when you and your Father become one, when your outside world lines up with how you feel it should be on the inside, you and your Father are one. You are doing the works of Christ as we were told to do. Let this mind that be in you, that be in Christ, be in you also. Scripture tells us this all the time. So what I'm telling you is to get access to more wisdom, to line yourself up with the life that you know you're supposed to live. You understand that? Not the life that Brian lives, not the life that your idol lives, not the life that superstar lives, but the life that you are supposed to live. There's a life. Listen to this, y'all. There's a life. I probably won't even talk about the food. If you want to know access to food or get a 1-hour consultation on health, because I'm talking about this right now, but on what to do to take away some aches and pains that my dad had. I can tell you through experience of what he did. Hey, it's worked for a lot of people. Hey, if it didn't work for you, I don't know why. I'm just throwing it out there. But some of the things that he did to restore his health and many other people, we have hundreds of testimonials of people that is changing their lives. But if you want the life that you are supposed to live, what you got to do is you got to learn how to think, y'all. The keys to the kingdom. There is nothing else in this universe that will give you more peace than resting your burden in knowing that God's wisdom got it all figured out. And when you ask for his wisdom, he's going to give it to you. And that's why it makes sense why Jesus said, hey, look, stop worrying about tomorrow. Tomorrow ain't in your hands. Tomorrow ain't in your hands. Tomorrow ain't in my hands. It's in God's hands. And by me knowing that tomorrow is in God's hands, guess what? I'm going to enjoy today. Everything that is being presented to me right now in this very day, in this very moment, is my past thoughts. I'm going to watch my past thoughts pass by me. And I'm going to choose which ones I want to move my energy in. What am I saying? I'm going to choose the ones that I'm going to react to emotionally. And when you do this, I heard this line in Drake, I got to bust it out. When you do this, you are literally overreacting. Hey, you'll catch that maybe in the ride home today. When you find yourself overreacting, you've conquered it. You've conquered it in a way that nobody else has. Conquer reacting to anything. That's what I'm saying. So to help you explain that to you, you want to stand over the emotion of reacting. Control your human emotions. That is the wild horse that all human beings need to tame. When you tame your emotions, when you tame what you are reacting to and just observe life and select what you want to stick to energetically, whatever you choose to react to is what you choose to stick to energetically, what you choose to keep existing. Moving your emotions, you have the power to move your energy, y'all. You have the innate ability to move your energy by choosing what you react to. So now as I go through life, as you go through life, if you want something to persist, if you want something to continue on, then react to it. That's all you got to do. So now with this wisdom, with this understanding, you develop the consciousness to say, okay, if you've been judging a situation, if you've been observing, listen to me, if you've been observing a situation, that's why you say, if it be of good rapport, if it be of good virtue, think on these things. Because your observation of it is going to create a reaction in the untamed spirit. Your observation, your continued observation of what you're seeing, if you are untamed, then that means you want me to respond to it. That's what the spirit says, and the spirit responds by feeling. So if you are constantly mentally pondering on anything or physically pondering on anything you're entertaining in spirit, anything you're entertaining in the body, hearing through all of your senses, whatever, if you repeatedly do it, it's going to trigger a reaction if you are untamed. What I'm telling you is, now when you become aware of your emotions and you looking at that bank account and you see the feeling that a negative number in your bank account gives you, stop reacting to it. Put your mental eye on what you want your bank account to be. Now you establish, hear me out, y'all. I can't stop talking to y'all. You're going to establish a destination. Now, what you have to do when you have your emotions in control of your emotions and you've bottled them up, you've successfully bottled up your emotion and you save them to what you want to stick to, what you want to connect with. And you bottle up your emotions and you shoot your emotions at your chief aim. The chief aim is the new mental image. The chief aim is the desire to be out of where you're currently standing in. How do you define the purpose of your now? I want you to understand this. Some people say, what's my life purpose? Listen to what you're asking. Life is an eternal thing. Life ain't this time frame that man gives you. There are infinite possibilities in the time frame that your body began and when you think your body's going to end. There is infinite possibilities, and in that infiniteness there is an eternal time frame. It means it goes on forever and ever. So you have the innate ability to choose where you want to be. That's what your purpose is. Your purpose is where you want to be right now. So whatever I'm standing in right now, what do I want? I'm going to tell you how to get out of a situation, baby. I'm going to tell you how to mentally get out of anything that you're doing. So when you have a situation that you're in, instantly, let me tell you something. Instantaneously, God knows that you want to be out of it. Here's your proof. God knows this man, y'all, it's so much that's coming to my head right now that I'm formulating it in my mind to verbalize it so that everybody can understand it. I hope I'm doing a good job of communicating this to you. When you are in a situation, you don't verbally have to even pray to God for him to know that you want to be out of it if it's something that you want to be out of. The moment you enter into something that you don't want to be in or something that you don't like, the fact that God hears you, how do you know God hears you? Because he births in you the disagreement, which automatically puts you in search of the solution to get out of it. The desire to be out of the situation is proof that God heard you. And where's the desire? The desire can't be seen in the physical world. The desire comes in from the inside of you. And a lot of us, we can't tune in to God where God is because we eat all of this unnecessary foods. We have all this unnecessary stuff that we're feeding our spirit on and on and on that blocks us being able to connect with the feeling that God gives us. He gives us answers through feeling. So when I'm looking at a situation that I don't want to be in, and God births in me the desire, he may not initially see the desire as a seed, so it has to blossom into the next thing, possibility. The desire becomes possibility. You get what I'm saying? So if you kill the seed of desire before it can blossom into possibility, it almost tells God that you don't want to listen to him. So he just sits back and does his thing. He gonna still keep doing it. He stands at the door and knock every day. So now when that desire or that impulse ignites in you to say, okay, I don't like it here, I want to be somewhere, I feel like I want to be somewhere else, what you got to do then is establish your chief aim. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? That is your now purpose. Take life purpose out of it. Your now purpose is to get out of where you don't want to be. Now that you know that, stop looking for what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life and look at what you're supposed to do right now. Now you got purpose. Now when you identified what you want to do right now, where do you want to be? Boom, you got a mental image of it. Somebody's posting scriptures in here. I'm going to read them later when I'm done so I can just stay in this flow, in this vein. So now when you got this image of where you want to be, what it looks like, you got it in your mind's eye. See, it's not just, some of y'all are, all the law of attraction, all this. You got to read the word so you can understand the several mental faculties of your mind that you're supposed to be developing. It ain't just one. Now you've established your chief aim mentally. What you got to do now is, if you got access to Google, one of the most powerful external tools known to man, you can type any question in Google and get an instant answer for anything. But guess what? If you don't know what questions to ask Google, Google won't be a good servant to you. Google will not be a good servant to you if you don't know what questions to ask them. So what you want to do is you want to know what questions to ask. And how do you know what questions to ask? Through experience. So that's why you have mentors who have experienced what it is that you're going to go through. And you get with mentors to identify what questions do I need to ask. You get what I'm saying? If I know the right questions to ask, I know how to get past that roadblock. I know how to get past that stump. And so that's why you noticed in scripture how Jesus, he always answered you with questions. He didn't just give you a statement for an answer. He responded with questions. Because the question unlocks it in you from your perception in your universe. I don't know how you see in life. I don't know what solution you really want. But the right question that I can deliver to you to ask will tell you the answer that you need to know. You understand? So the question that you ask to step into fully your chief aim desire is, what would the feeling of relief be like? What would the feeling be like knowing that I was out of this, that I was done with it, that I was relieved from it? That's the feeling that you want to carry. That's the feeling, is the faith. The feeling is the evidence. You saw me post about this. Go back and read my post. I put a detailed post about this. We read in scripture that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. How loosely our eyes have read this and skipped over what it is that we're really supposed to be finding in that. In that scripture, what we're supposed to be looking for is evidence. What is the evidence? Faith is the evidence. Okay, so if you don't know what in you is faith, then what you need to be doing is finding out what in you is faith. Because when you have the faith, when you identify faith, you've identified the evidence that you consciously need for you to accept that your prayers are answered. You ain't got to look for it no more. When you have the spiritual evidence, y'all need to share this with somebody. Don't just be getting all this meat for yourself. When you have the spiritual evidence, when you know that you know without a shadow of a doubt that your prayer was answered, you can look for something else. More importantly, what you start doing is preparing the way. You begin preparing the way for what you know is coming. You see the difference? Some people up here been praying, don't even know who or what they praying to. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. That's what y'all feel like. And you getting scattered results. And it's like you starting to lose belief. But I believe in Amos 8:11 says there's going to be a famine that comes over the land of not bread and water, but of truth. That people are going to thirst for truth. And the only thing that's going to quench that thirst is God's wisdom. The only thing that's going to spiritually satisfy your spirit is wisdom. Which is why you're watching this right now. You thirsty. And that's what Jesus said. He says, I am the thirst quencher. Right? Because he knew the answer. So let's go back. The evidence of things unseen. Let's go back to this. This is a good video. The evidence of things unseen is feeling. When I mentally see where it is that I want that, listen to me. When I mentally see where it is that I is the spirit in you. When I mentally see where it is that I want to be, I can ask the question, how would it feel to be there? When I catch the feeling on my spirit, the feeling gives me the evidence that it exists spiritually. The feeling gives me the evidence that it exists spiritually. And all I have to do now, so what I'm doing is, imagine walking past something, like I'm gonna walk past this aisle. Imagine this is the feeling that this aisle represents the feeling that I want to catch. And I'm walking, do, 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 boop, 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 and now boom, I walk past that aisle. Woo! Oh shoot, what was that? I'm gonna walk past by it. Boom! This represents me asking that question. What would the feeling be like? Boom! I'm gonna catch that feeling. I'm gonna walk past that feeling. And so now what I want to do is I want to get in tune. I want to get in rhythm with this feeling. I'm going to keep walking past it. I'm going to keep walking past it. What would the feeling be like if it were true? What would the feeling be like if it were true? Then I'm going to catch the feeling of it being true in my meditation. And then I'm going to hold on to that feeling. And I'm going to stay in that feeling. This owl represents that feeling. I'm going to stay in that feeling. When I stay in the feeling, now I wear it on my spirit. Now I'm in tune with it. Now in my physical body, I can walk around in this feeling. I can walk around in that feeling. In whatever now that I'm experiencing. So now if I'm in the feeling of the satisfaction of relief, if I'm in that inwardly, and I'm walking around, I walk around smiling because I'm out of what it is that I'm physically facing. I ain't there no more. I'm in a good place. And so now when things present themselves to me, if I'm in a different feeling frequency of what it is, if I'm where I want to be in my mind, then when something presents itself to me, I can only see it in the mindset of relief from it. Man, if I am, hear me out, if I am the spirit, I being the spirit, am whatever I decide to be, if I am dwelling in the feeling of satisfaction, if I am dwelling in the feeling of relief, then everything that I see from that vantage point looks like relief. Everything that I see from that vantage point looks like relief from what it is that my body is standing in. So now my response makes the person give me an answer that matches relief. You understand? I don't physically have to control anybody if I'm thinking from relief. I think from relief with such a focused intensity to where everything else has to rise to that feeling. Because my response is radiating so strong. My magnet of relief is radiating so strong to where now you have to think from relief too. Your spirit resonates with where you are. There's a lot more that I can go in and talk to you all about and go into more detail about. But guys, this is some good meat. Watch this over again. Watch this with your family members. Get a circle of friends together and watch this again. Inbox me if you want private consultation or mentoring or need a retreat, etc. Inbox me if you are ready to take that next step to go to the next level mentally and to get to where you want to be in life. So guys, it's your boy B, reminding each and every one of you to be great. Continue to win big. Win big for yourselves and your family. I love each and every one of you with every fiber of my being. No matter who you are or where you are, Brian S. Harris loves you, and God does.